Hey everyone, remember being a kid and wrapping yourself in that Ghostbusters world?
Oh, absolutely.
The movies,
Yeah.
the toys,
Yeah.
even that catchy theme song stuck in your head for days.
The best.
Well, get ready to fire up the flux capacitor, because today's deep dive takes us back to 1984
Okay.
and the release of the very first Ghostbusters video game on, get this, the Commodore 64.
Wow.
Thanks to a treasure trove of sources, we're talking YouTube playthroughs,
Right.
vintage game guides, even a few dusty old magazines.
Oh, nice.
We're going to bust open the creation of this 8-bit classic, peek
Okay, wait.
behind the digital curtain at its gameplay, and see if it truly lived up to the hype.
Okay.
What's particularly fascinating about this deep dive is that it offers a glimpse into a pivotal moment in gaming history when Hollywood and home computers collided.
Yeah.
Game developers were suddenly tasked with translating blockbuster movies into these pixelated experiences,
Right.
often with incredibly tight deadlines.
Well, it was a different time.
Yeah, and talk about a tight deadline.
Oh, yeah.
Our sources reveal that Activision, the company behind the Ghostbusters game, had a mere 6 weeks to develop the entire thing.
Wow.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, most games back then took months, even years to develop.
Right.
How do they even begin to tackle such a huge project in such a short time?
Well, it was an almost Herculean effort driven by a combination of factors.
Okay.
Remember, video games were still a relatively new form of entertainment.
Yeah.
And licensed games were seen as a surefire way to cash in on a film's popularity.
Oh, okay.
So Activision had to strike while the proton pack was hot, so to speak.
Makes sense. I mean, if you've got a ghost infestation, you don't wait around for months for an exterminator, right?
No, you want them there right away.
It's still 6 weeks?
It's wild.
That's insane.
It is. And to accomplish this feat, they resorted to a rather ingenious shortcut.
Okay.
Instead of building the game from the ground up, they adapted an existing game they were already developing called Car Wars.
Car Wars. Okay.
Essentially, they took the core structure of Car Wars
Okay.
and reskinned it with a Ghostbusters theme.
So they swapped tricked-out cars for Ecto-1s and proton packs. That's some seriously creative repurposing. But how did they manage to translate the mechanics of a car combat game into a ghost hunting adventure?
That's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
You see, Car Wars, at its core, was about resource management, buying and upgrading cars,
Okay.
managing your budget.
Okay.
Activision cleverly carried over this element into Ghostbusters.
Right.
But instead of cars, you're managing a team of paranormal exterminators.
So instead of fine-tuning a souped-up engine, you're outfitting your team with proton packs and ghost traps.
Exactly.
I'm guessing that 10 grand starting budget doesn't go very far in the ghost catching business.
No, not at all. Our vintage game guides and playthroughs really highlight how those early financial decisions impact your game. Do you splurge on the Ecto-1 right away?
Right.
For its speed and ghost trapping capacity?
Okay.
Or do you start with a more modest vehicle?
Yeah.
Like that VW bug you mentioned, and slowly upgrade your way up?
Yeah.
It's a trade-off between catching more ghosts faster
Right.
and risking those early game bankruptcies.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Tough choices.
It's like they took the thrill of ghost busting and injected it with a dose of entrepreneurial spirit.
A little bit, yeah.
What other strategic choices did players have to make?
Well, beyond just vehicles, there was a whole arsenal of ghost-busting equipment to consider.
Oh, okay.
Remember those PKE meters from the movie?
Yes.
The one they used to detect psychic energy?
Uh-huh.
Those are in the game.
Okay.
And they're essential for tracking down those pesky ghosts hiding in New York City.
Okay.
You've got different types of traps to choose from,
Right.
each with varying levels of effectiveness.
Okay.
And let's not forget about ghost bait.
Ghost bait. Do ghosts even have taste buds?
Apparently so.
Okay.
Though I'm not sure I want to know what they find appetizing.
Right.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Remember that marshmallowy menace we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
The Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man?
Oh, yeah. How could we forget Stay Puffed?
Well, it turns out that ghost bait plays a key role in luring him away from buildings.
Okay.
And minimizing the damage he inflicts on your profits.
Oh, wow.
It's a clever way to tie in that iconic movie moment.
Right.
And add another layer of strategy to the gameplay.
That's fantastic. They really managed to weave in those signature Ghostbusters elements.
They did, yeah.
But it's not all proton packs and ghost traps, is it?
No.
It sounds like the city itself plays a major role in the game.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The game unfolds on this 8-bit grid map of New York City
Okay.
with different locations flashing red to indicate paranormal activity.
Right.
You got to navigate your team through traffic,
Okay.
respond to ghost alarms,
Right.
and try to keep those PK energy levels in check.
PK energy levels, is that like a citywide spookometer?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
As those levels rise,
Okay.
it signifies that the city is approaching a full-blown paranormal meltdown,
Right.
culminating in the appearance of,
Okay.
you guessed it,
Yeah.
the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Of course.
It's a constant race against time to keep those ghostly shenanigans under control.
Oh, wow.
Imagine juggling all of that while trying to manage a payroll
Right.
and avoid lawsuits from accidentally destroying half the city with your proton packs.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Talk about a high-stress job. It sounds chaotic, but in the best way possible.
It is, yeah.
They really captured that sense of controlled chaos that made the movie so entertaining.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And let's not forget the role of sound in creating that immersive experience.
Okay.
Throughout the entire game, you've got that iconic 8-bit rendition of the Ghostbusters theme song playing in the background.
Oh, come on, they didn't. Did they really get the theme song into an 8-bit game?
They did. They really did.
That's amazing.
It's not even just a chiptune version.
Right.
It even includes on-screen lyrics.
No way.
So you can sing along while you're busting ghosts.
Now that's dedication. They really went above and beyond to capture the spirit of the movie.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't just the music.
Right.
I read somewhere that they even managed to squeeze in some digitized speech,
Yeah, they did.
which was pretty groundbreaking for the time.
It was, yeah, very innovative.
Hearing those little snippets of dialogue like, "He slimed me,"
Yeah.
or "Get her,"
Yeah,
adds so much personality to the game.
absolutely.
It's those small details that really elevate the experience and make you feel like you're stepping into the Ghostbusters universe.
For sure, yeah.
So we've got a game that's a clever blend of action and strategy,
Yeah.
a city on the brink of paranormal pandemonium,
Right,
and enough 8-bit charm to make your inner child jump for joy.
totally.
It sounds like they pulled it off,
They did.
even with that insane 6-week deadline.
I know, it's incredible.
But how did the critics and gamers of the day react to Ghostbusters on the Commodore 64?
Right.
Did it live up to the hype? Did it live up to the hype?
Well, if we're talking purely commercial success, then
Okay.
it absolutely smashed.
Right.
Those charts we dug up
Yeah.
show it dethroning gaming giants like Daley Thompson's Decathlon
Wow.
to claim the top spot for months.
Wow, really?
It became a Commodore 64 staple,
Yeah.
a game almost everyone with the system had to at least try.
Right.
Critically, though,
Yeah.
that's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
A real mixed bag of opinions.
Ooh. Spill the ectoplasmic tea. What were people saying?
Some critics praised its unique gameplay,
Okay.
saying it brought something genuinely new to the table.
Right.
I even found one review calling it dauntingly good,
Oh.
praising how it captured the movie's spirit
Right.
while offering a surprisingly deep experience.
Okay.
But then you had others who found the gameplay loop a bit repetitive
Okay.
after a while. Some even said that despite the strategic elements,
Right.
it lacked the depth of other popular titles.
Interesting.
And the best anecdote,
Okay.
apparently Ernie Hudson,
Yeah.
Winston himself.
Right. His kids thought it sucked.
Wow, talk about tough critics. I guess even having a Ghostbuster dad doesn't guarantee you'll love every Ghostbusting game out there.
Right.
But it's fascinating to see how, even back then,
Yeah.
there was no accounting for taste.
Exactly. It highlights that gaming, even in its 8-bit infancy, was already subjective,
Right.
sparking passionate debates about what made a game good.
For sure.
And, the fact that Ghostbusters on the C64 generated such strong reactions,
Yeah.
both positive and negative,
Right.
speaks volumes about its impact.
It's true. It definitely got people talking.
It did.
It wasn't just a game.
Right?
It was an event.
Yeah.
And for something developed in just 6 weeks,
I know, right?
that's pretty remarkable.
It really is.
And it provides a fascinating snapshot of that era in gaming
Yeah.
history.
Right.
You can see the growing pains of adapting Hollywood blockbusters
Yeah.
to these new home computers.
Right.
The scramble to meet deadlines
Right.
and the innovative ways developers overcame technical limitations.
It's like this game is a time capsule,
It is.
preserving a piece of gaming history.
Yeah.
We can look back now and see those rough edges, those
Yeah.
limitations,
Uh-huh.
but there's also a certain charm to it,
Oh, for sure.
a sense of ingenuity that shines through.
Absolutely.
Right.
And speaking of those bygone days,
Right.
One more intriguing tidbit from our research really struck me.
Oh, okay.
Ghostbusters on the C64 was heavily pirated.
Really?
Now, whether you see that as a sign of its immense popularity or a reflection of the times,
Right.
it speaks volumes about the game's reach.
It's true. Everyone and their cousins seemed to have a copy back in the day.
I know, right?
It was like the 8-bit equivalent of a must-see movie.
Precisely. Though hopefully more people paid for their cinema tickets than for those copied floppy disks.
Right, right.
But it just goes to show, whether
Yeah.
through legitimate purchases or those shared copies,
Right.
this game wormed its way into the hands and hearts of countless players.
It's a testament to its legacy.
For sure.
Well, that's fascinating stuff. Thanks for taking this deep dive with me.
Oh, anytime. It was a lot of fun.
Always a blast chatting about classic games.
Yeah.
Until next time, everyone,
See you later.
stay spooky!